And what advice would you have for any potential bosses that might be listening to this, or employees that might want to give some tips to their boss in terms of, helping them to navigate through menopause?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a question of being open and honest about it, isn't it? And
Hmm.
discussing it, and making sure that people are understood. I mean, occupational health can be quite good if there's an occupational health department. They
Yes.
can be quite good, but generally speaking, it is obviously something that happens to women from the age of, say, 52, 53 onwards, and
Mm.
it can be pre, and it can be younger people,
Yes.
women in their 40s, sometimes
Hmm.
go through it, even being heard of in their 30s, depending on what the reasons are. There was lots of reasons for menopausal symptoms at a younger
Yeah.
age, and also the other thing is, of course, trying to get the correct would we say diagnosis, but the correct thing, because at the end of the day, the similar symptoms to menopause, thyroid disorder, for example, or B12 deficiency, which we've
Hmm.
talked about before. Some of
Yeah.
the signs and symptoms are very similar, and sometimes it's
Right.
quite difficult to decipher what it is. So
Y-
I think it's important for employers to recognize that, and to say to employees, well, it might be well worth it, having a health checkup, and
mhm.
seeing, if it is that, and what is actually
Yeah.
going on, so they can try and help them to deal with the symptoms.
Yeah. And so when you say having a health checkup, Annie, what specifically would you be testing for in those circumstances?
Well, I think if somebody comes in, I would really like to know, obviously what the symptoms are. So, are they typically sort of night sweats and hot flushes, and, lack of
Okay.
concentration, looking for, some sort of issues around being, no, concentration is a big thing. Low mood is a big thing. Could be irritable, could have sleeping issues.
Mm.
There could be, vaginal dryness, loss of sex drive, or virtually no sex drive. So
Hmm.
lots of things that have an impact on the quality of life. But some of these symptoms can be other things. So you would want to look at the other things, and those other things would probably be looking at what comes up in the chat, but generally speaking, you would be wanting to do a hormone study. So you would want to look at, the estrogen, progesterone. You would want to look at the FSH, the follicle stimulating hormone. You would want to look at, sex binding hormone, testosterone. You would want to look at a number of things to look for a pattern within that. Then you would want to look at menopausal issues, and then you would want to rule out that it's a thyroid issue. So